The war with Iran just entered its fourth week, and it just crossed into completely new territory. Late Saturday night, March 22nd, Trump posted on Truth Social, "If Iran doesn't fully open, without threat, the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first." This came just one day after Trump said the war was winding down. On Friday, he wrote that the US was very close to achieving its objectives and was considering ending military operations. Tehran didn't wait long to respond. The Iranian military issued a formal statement laying out 4 specific retaliatory measures. On the Strait of Hormuz, they pushed back on Trump's framing directly. The strait, they said, is not fully closed. It is under intelligent control, open to harmless passage under specific regulations. But then came the conditions. If the US strikes Iranian power plants, 1. The Strait of Hormuz closes completely and stays closed until destroyed power plants are rebuilt. 2. All power plants and energy infrastructure inside Israel get widely targeted. 3. Every company in the region with American shareholders gets, in their words, completely destroyed. 4. Power plants in countries that host American military bases become legitimate targets. Hitting a military base and hitting a power plant are two very different things. The Geneva Conventions explicitly prohibit attacks on objects indispensable to the survival of the civilian population. Power plants are exactly that. Iran has already been under an internet blackout for 4 straight weeks. More than 80,000 civilian sites, hospitals, schools, ambulances have already been damaged. Striking the power grid would multiply that crisis many times over. For a country already at war, this might be a humanitarian catastrophe. In 4 weeks of war, Iran's nuclear facilities, navy, and air defense systems have already been destroyed. But the war isn't ending. It's changing shape. Now we're no longer talking about military infrastructure, we're talking about civilian energy and global oil supply. Iran has already fired missiles at the Israeli sites of Arad and Dimona near Israel's nuclear research center, and those missiles broke through Israel's air defense system. If the US strikes Iran's power plants, Iran has promised to target power plants in every country hosting American military bases and to destroy every company in the region with American shareholders. That puts Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and others directly in the crosshairs. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is impacting Asia's economy the hardest. The International Energy Agency already called this the largest energy and food crisis in history. China, India, Japan, and South Korea receive around 70% of their oil imports through the strait. India alone gets more than half its oil through Hormuz, a double blow of rising oil prices and rising LNG prices at the same time. Europe has lost a significant portion of Qatari LNG at a moment when gas reserves were already low after a tough winter. The Dutch TTF gas benchmark has nearly doubled in price. Brent crude has risen almost 50% since the war began, hitting $112 a barrel. The average gas price in the US has reached almost $4 per gallon. But Russia, the United States, and other oil producers who don't depend on the strait are actually winning. Russia's budget is quietly collecting extra revenue from high prices. Fertilizer producers are also benefiting. A third of global fertilizer trade passes through Hormuz, and the shortage is already pushing prices up right before the US planting season. A war that was officially winding down instead opens a new front every single day. For ordinary people on all sides of the conflict, this is no longer geopolitics on a screen. This is the electricity bill, the price of bread, and the cost of fuel in the tank.